You know I'm a big Ohio nigga. A lot of niggas know me in Ohio and they love me in Ohio, man.
The deal is the champ, Shannon Cannon Briggs, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. I want to give a shout out to BVO TV.
Shout out to BVO Boxing. You understand? Check the boy out. Check the kid out. You understand?
Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BBO Sports TV. I got my man TD Sports, man, one of my favorite Puerto Ricans in the house, man. He decided to hang out with the brothers for once. How you brothers feeling today?
I'm good, man. I'm glad you guys gave me the welcoming, party to let me hang out with you guys, man. I appreciate it.
You know it's crazy when you say stuff like that. I gotta play the drop on you.
Whatever changes you have to make, then you just do it. You got to think about your life.
That's all I can add.
Wow.
Think about your life.
It's crazy because didn't he say something like that to Rudy, right?
No, he ain't saying nothing like that to Rudy.
You ain't got an inch of athleticism in you. He's like, when he told Rudy, that was crazy, man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I got to ask you guys this. We're talking about something that's kind of different. We're talking about mental health, and that's why we wanted to come together and do this. So let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think mental health is a problem in boxing? What would you guys say?
Mental health is a problem everywhere. I mean, but some people abuse the power. Some people be like, oh, it's mental health, knowing good and well it ain't mental health. And that's like a slap in the face of people who really got mental health. Probably somebody like one of them Charlos. You feel me? One of them was talking about offing himself the other day, but I think it's real. I think, but it's hard to tell nowadays because people's running with it so much. But it's definitely a problem in any sport.
What would you say, Tina? You get a chance to go to a lot of the fights, man. Do you think mental health plays a part at all on some of these guys?
I think it does, and I think Prize is spot on in that. It's sometimes it's just hard to tell, but it definitely does exist, and just the way that some of these fighters, speak at interviews and when they drop videos or go on Instagram Live and stuff like that. I mean, let's say, what Charlo did the other day, he threatened to kill himself or to shoot himself or whatever.
Hey, man.
Oh, you can't say that? I can't.
On the live, man. On the live.
I forgot. My apologies. That he said he was going to unalive himself or something like that. It's like, even when a guy says that and then he says, nah, I was just joking. Nah, man, something is really wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? That's a sign. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in boxing and in everyday life, and then in boxing, and it's sad because in boxing, you're getting punched in the head. And that only makes things worse, And it's not just the fights; it's the numerous rounds of sparring that these fighters go through, and it's a dangerous game. Like back in in the 80s and the 90s, you never really heard of issues like this, right? And now they're coming out more and more, because we're in the social media.
Well, let me ask you this: what about Oliver McCall? That was back in the day. That dude cried like a newborn in the ring.
Yeah, and he was obviously going through something too. He was definitely showing signs. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. I think in my personal opinion, I think it starts off with your team. Right? If you don't have a good team around you, then things like this can happen. You may go through mental health issues and problems because you start second guessing yourself. You start talking to yourself and going through issues. If and having a good team and a good support system, and I believe it helps with that. It helps as far as you can talk to a friend, you could talk to a brother, a father, an uncle, an aunt, a grandmother, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And speaking is the best form of curing mental health, right? You have all these things out, now that help you with that. Listen, in my job, they provide part of our healthcare. They provide what they call talk space, where we can go and we get sessions to a therapist for free. You know what I'm saying? Under our insurance. And I think that's great because,
You got a job?
I started doing that myself, and I'm not saying I've got any issues with it myself, but it's always good to to talk to somebody else and let people know what you're going through and let people know what your problems are.
Yeah, I agree.
So I ask you this. I didn't know TD Sports had a job, but
Wow.
I'll just say that's
I thought he
that's
was
kind
a
of different for a
bodega
Puerto.
clerk.
Wow.
Hey man, because this is what I'd say all because he said he don't want to work for the white man. So I always tell Tommy this.
Don't tell nobody you ain't gonna work for white people, and then you sitting around with no money in your pocket, a bum. In honest days, work kill nobody. Right. I'll dig up garbage if it's gonna feed my wife and my children. Right. I'm not too ashamed to do any kind of honest labor to feed my family. So don't come in here with no chip on your shoulder. I ain't working for no white man. Fine. Then let me find you working for yourself. But anybody in here that ain't working is stealing. We want to know if you ain't working where you get your money from. Because we don't need no more crooks, no more thieves and hustlers and dope sellers and pimps and abusers of people. We had enough of that crap. We don't need that in here.
And the reason I play that clip, not just because Tommy's from the Bronx, and that's what you get, a lot of dope peddlers and hustlers and all that stuff. I think a lot of times, man, like he kind of spoke about with mental health, and all jokes aside, we got to have fun. This is the Sports Talk Network, man. We got to have some fun.
Yeah, indeed.
But I think the thing that we got to remember is some of these guys are not processing things correctly. Because when I look at Shakur Sanchez, I think he's one of the biggest snakes in boxing. And I feel like and if you say it, you're wrong. He plays like I don't know if you guys ever heard of cosplay. It's like he tries to play black when it's convenient, but now you see this whole movement with him being Puerto Rican. I wonder is that a mental illness? Like you got some type of race dysphoria or something where you just all of a sudden a whole different race? What would you guys say to that?
That's just clout chasing. Go ahead.
I disagree with that because where is the signs that he's actually done that? Where he's saying that he's not claiming that he's black, he's claiming more Puerto Rican. Where's that coming from? Because he's
the shorts.
The shorts, but that's not enough evidence to say that that's what he's actually doing. Come on, man, you wrong for that, bro.
Yeah, even if he was claiming his Puerto Rican side, that doesn't mean he's saying that he's not black or that he's not claiming that side of himself. Do you see the color of his grandfather, who's been with him his entire life? So that's just outrageous, BBO. But if I could get in on that conversation y'all had about mental health, I agree with Prize Fighter and TD a lot. And I don't necessarily while I hear what TD is saying about having a support system around you with your family, a lot of these boxers don't have that because they don't come from the best situations. And a lot of the reasons why they come up, especially in the just speaking about the Charlos case, he came up dysfunctional because his father's a pretty dysfunctional guy. Like when you drag your kids out of bed and pull them in front of your apartment building, and then you challenging people to fight them, that's not normal. Like Bud Crawford's mother paying kids $10 to try and beat up her son. That's not normal. And then saying, I never tell him I love him. And then we see Bud. Well, I'm not gonna say Bud is an unstable individual. I'm not gonna say that. But what I will say, agreeing with Tommy, there's nothing wrong with getting some stuff off your chest. There's nothing wrong with going to pay for a therapist or a psychologist to get your stuff in order and get all that stuff off your chest. And I see that the title of this stream is beta males are dangerous or whatever. Like I've heard for a long time, like it's weak for men to cry. Like I used to believe that. I don't believe that crap no more. Like I went through a situation with my son where it was really devastating for me. And I had a good cry and I got that stuff out my system. There's nothing wrong with just getting it out your system. It's good for you. It's not good to just hold that stuff inside and then you repress and then like men cry in different ways. Like you might cry by being a drunk. You might cry by not wanting to spend time with your children, or by cheating on your wife, or by acting out in public, like threatening people and getting yourself in situations. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with Tommy and I agree with Prize completely. There's nothing wrong with getting that stuff off your chest.
Yeah.
So you saying you do cry? You saying you do cry, Marky?
Absolutely. I'm a human being. I go through things like today. My mother's boss, who gave her a job 30 years ago, we found out that he's going through a situation where he has only a couple months to live. And I just got to meet this man 2 weeks ago. And he's telling me so many stories. He's telling me stories about my great-grandmother, who was the first carnival queen on this island. You know what I'm saying? And how they used to go on the radio together. And she used to call him and said, Michael, they're going to put 150 people out on the streets. And how she and him used to go and fight for people. And then 2 weeks later, this man's going through a situation like 2 weeks ago, BBO, this man was strong. I'm telling you, like, the way how he's talking to me is like, he's sharp. Today, I meet him, he's confused. Like, he could barely remember me. That hurt me to my core to see that. There's nothing wrong with crying.
I was going to say something foul. You messed it up.
Now. I'm good now.
I respect you because I was about to say something really foul, Mark, and you just took it right out of my mouth, man. Shout out to Mark, man. Go ahead.
I mean, you like to joke. I thought this was a serious conversation, but go ahead.
No, we having a serious conversation.
Why would you want to do that right now?
But I just said I didn't.
Well, we having a serious conversation about men's mental health, and you want to joke, bro. But go ahead.
No,
you know, laughter does good like the medicine. But go ahead, Frank. My bad.
No, I was going to say, I mean, we got to remember when boxing came into when people started really paying attention to boxing was like the 70s, the 80s, and things like that. That's when our community really started paying attention to boxing. Boxing is a sport where you do not have to be the greatest to play or to join the sport, to get into the sport. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, you got to be the best person. You got to be one of the top greatest players out of college or out of high school and things like that. When it comes to boxing, anybody can be a boxer. We can go sign up tomorrow and become a boxer. And so when we say they don't have the support system, you got to think about it. A lot of these people get into boxing because they look at an easy way to make money. I can go in and fight and make money, and they already fight anyway. I mean, how many times have we talked to fighters and they said, "What got you into boxing?" Well, I was always getting into fights. So this is the thing. They look at it and say, "Okay, well, I fight anyway. Now I can get paid for fighting. Let me go do that." And so when you say they don't have a support system, it's because the people look at the individual as a investment. They're not so much, I mean, unless you have a strong family background, most people are not getting into boxing with their family. They get into boxing for themselves, and they have a trainer. They have some people that's at the gym that help them get to being a pro. You have the families like Shushu Carrington. You got
Mason.
Our boy, yeah, Jaleel Hatchett. You got the Russells.
Jaleel Hackett.
Yeah, you got some people that have the family background, but a lot of these people, they get into boxing for themselves because it's an easy way for them to make money. Like a guy like Tank Davis, he didn't have his family around. Only family he knew was Coach Calvin. That was the only person and that wasn't even his family. That was somebody that just took him off the street. So
if somebody take you off the street, I would say that's family, bro.
Yeah.
No, not
by blood though. Is what he was meaning, BBO.
It's not family because he took him off the street. He might love him as family, but when you get to a certain age, as you see now with Tank Davis and Coach Calvin, their relationship ain't as strong as it once was because he's at a certain age. He's like, this is my coach, but he ain't family like my mother, my father, my grandmother. He's not family like that. He is somebody that took care of me, but he ain't family. You always a child always wants to know who is their family, where do they come from. So they don't have that strong background. I mean, that strong supporting cast because people look at these fighters as investments, a way that they can make money. once these fighters start losing, you pretty much you don't hear about them no more. I mean, how many fighters have we go? I mean, I seen CD Sports and KG. They used to do the joint Tales from the Dark Side. I mean, from the B side, and you hear a lot of these fighters where people don't talk about them no more because they started losing, and people like, okay, well, we can't use them anymore. We're gonna move on to somebody else, and that's what it comes with this sport. Like, this is the only sport where there is no tension at the end of it. There is no no retirement fund or anything like that. They don't get money once the sport is over. All the other sports, they still get money. You pay a certain amount of years, you get money for the rest of your life.
10 years in the
Boxing,
NBA free. I think it's 10 years and you get that pension.
yeah. So I mean, football, I think it's 7 years. And you pay a
Yeah.
certain
I
amount
think
of
they
years.
got a pension out there in California, but that's
No,
only for
football's 5.
Five,
They got
they
a
changed it to
pension for
5.
boxers out.
Okay.
Go ahead, Fred.
But
Go,
yeah,
my
so
bad.
all these other sports, you play a certain amount of years, you get money for the rest of your life. Boxing, it's no more money. Once it's over, it's over. You better invest it right. You better save up your money because once it's over, it's over. These people with these fans, they so-called diehard fans, they will forget about you and move on to the next current fighter.
Yeah.
I'll say this, man. Shout out to Free. That was a pretty insightful answer. Let me ask my man, Coach Hackett, man. You know, we call him Peppy, man. Right now he coaching Sugar Ray Leonard. So let me ask you this, Coach. When you see guys having like mental breakdowns, or like, I think in Keyshawn's case, I've only seen like guys that's been raised, and not all the time, because I think women do a great job of raising children. But some guys, when they're raised by just their mom, they become very insecure. Is that just a trait unique to Keyshawn, or is that just something you see all the time? What would you say? You hear me, Coach? Oh, you must have fell off.
Did I get cut off? Because I don't know what happened.
No, we didn't hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't know where I left off of, but I was just adding on to what D3 saying.
Appreciate you, Crunch Time.
Yeah. The importance of having a good team and a good support system, because it's all good when things are doing good. It's easy for people to be on the wagon, to be your friend, to celebrate the good times. But you want people that are going to be there for you when you're on your downfall, you know what I'm saying, or when you take a loss, you know what I'm saying, that that's going to be with you to support you, after a tough loss or after a devastating knockout, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I think that's important, to have a good support system. Those people that are going to rock with you, whether you're up or down. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, supporting cast is huge. I have a huge supporting cast, and my children do as well. Starting with me.
You don't count.
Yeah, but
you're rich.
Yeah, I do count because I wasn't born. Yes, I do. That's just like somebody give me some startup money, right? And we hustling, right? And you give me a startup pack, and you say, "All right, Prize, you gotta make it do what it do." My grandparents got millions of dollars. They don't give me They won't give me $10. They won't give me $10.
My grandma sent me to New Orleans with a gallon of juice and $25, nigga.
That's
I don't want to
crazy.
hear. From Hoover.
You gotta have a supporting cast. A supporting cast is very important. If you don't have one, hopefully you got somebody close to you or your father in your life. I'm speaking for men. If you got that, then you could probably be all right. As long as that father's a good guy in your life, and like some of the brothers we know, like Coach Hackett, like B. Norman and Bill Trill, Bill and them. You can tell that them guys move different in real life. You know what I'm saying? Because they have that supporting cast.
So we got my man Boxer Source in the house. What's going on, man? How you feeling, Junior?
Yeah, yo, what's happening?
Good, man. And now we know Junior don't usually hang out with the brothers, man, but salute to my brother for coming by, hanging out with the brothers, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yo, so what's up? What's happening?
But let me ask you this, man. When you watch some of these fighters, man, do you think a lot of times mental health be a thing holding some of these guys back from being great as they could be?
Man, I don't know. Like, it depends on the fighter, man. Because, like, if you go to these gyms, you'll see them in, hey, they're fighter. They have that fighter's mentality, but like sometimes they'll have those moments and they'll be like, they could just quit on you like all of a sudden. So it's almost like a thing that's an individual thing when you talk about that. So.
And the reason I say that is because I remember when we seen Oliver McCall have a mental break, I think a lot of people laughed and ridiculed him. But it's like when I'm seeing Keyshawn Davis now be so weak mentally, I guess I'm just thinking to myself, like,
What did he
was he
do
not
that
raised?
made you feel that way? Why do you think?
I just know, and this is gonna sound bad. You gotta forgive me, man. I was raised by old people, so when you got a guy who kind of has what I would call like that girly man talk, where he does a lot of screaming, because I'm a big guy. I'll be honest, as a big guy, I can honestly tell you, only time I'm ever screaming is when I'm about to put hands and feet on you. I've learned in life you have to control yourself, especially when you're my size. So I've learned the importance of being in control of yourself. And if you look at how Keyshawn kind of moves around, he moves around like he has a Napoleon complex almost. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But I'm just saying, it's just sad because he got so much talent, and it's like he just seems to absorb the negativity and never the good stuff. And then you got people who cut him down and bring it up. That's why I said I wonder, is it like a mental thing? Because I think, and this is just the guys on the shoot, I think more people should spend their money getting talking to somebody, because it can't be that bad. And there are resources to help you get better. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, but I just think sometimes, Custom Model said it all the time, it's 80% of boxing is mental. So if your mental's off, what are we really doing? Because you got to remember, when Lennox Lewis was fighting Oliver McCall was getting hit clean and he wasn't going nowhere. And that's the part, and I'm saying, because now I could be up here and be on some clown stuff and dog dudes for having this, but my thing is, we got to find out what's the cause of this. What's the cause of this girly man behavior? What's the cause of you fighting like you doing? What's the cause of you jumping in Billy Haney's face and acting like you about to do something, and then you all of a sudden now doing something else? I'm just saying, it's something to it. Or you see Shakur, and let's just be real, he does a lot of snake stuff behind the scenes, whether it's the way he did business with Jamel Herring, former American hero, or you see what he did to Oscar Valdez. You see how it's just like he's always kind of involved, almost like a Muttley. I don't know if you guys old enough to remember Muttley. It kind of reminds me of Muttley.
That was crazy.
That was
crazy.
That was funny.
I don't know if so y'all might be, y'all a little younger. Y'all probably had never seen Wacky Races, man. You know what I mean? There used to be a show called Wacky Races.
Man, you wasn't even born when that was out.
Yeah,
he wasn't. I know. Yeah, BVO wasn't born when that came out.
He definitely wasn't.
I watched it on Boomerang like everybody else. But what I'm saying is,
okay, all right. Then you were watching when it was on Boomerang, but not the original joint.
Right.
It was on them. You know, when you had the VHF and UHF. You would watch when it was like.
No, I didn't watch it then. No, I didn't watch it then. I see how you did that. But anyway, when I look at Shakur, it's like he like Muttley. He always like doing that sneaky laugh in the back. You know what I mean? It's like, dang, he got somebody again. I don't know if you ever seen it. I just feel like he's always into something. So, I mean, I guess for me, I wonder, is that a mental health thing? Because it's like, for some reason, and it could just be the culture that we're around, I just feel like it's so negative, man. But what would you guys say to that? Is it the culture that's negative, or just certain people?
They're in entertainment business, too. Yeah, shout out Vacay. Shout out to the chat. Shout out DP. Shout out to Uncle Cass. Shout out to Showtime Show. Go ahead, Mark.
No. I was gonna say something. So as far as Keyshawn, I think BVO, you're onto something when it comes to Keyshawn. I think BVO being BVO a little bit. I think you're being a little bit too harsh, a little extra. But I do think you're right though, because I think we are seeing some signs of some mental health issues with Keyshawn, because he's openly come out and said some things. And yeah, the screaming is kind of wild and crazy too. And thank you for saying that, because a lot of people will not understand what you're trying to say. I definitely peeped that as well. But him coming out talking about like he was drinking, and that he was on borderline alcoholic, whatever it was, and then some other things came up. But then recently, and I'm not talking about in the ring and outside the ring at the events, with him and Bill and him calling out Dev. I'm just talking about what we've seen in social media and what he's been going on. The drinking. And recently, he's been posting up, how he's a Christian again, and he got back. He showed a video of him getting baptized. I don't know if you peeped that. So I think he's trying to find ways to that are therapeutic for him to maybe solve that. And there is an admission there, without him actually saying it. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely see signs of some mental health issues with Keyshawn, but I feel like he's working through those issues, and only time will tell. And that's what I'm saying. And we'll go back to it was going to sound repetitive. It goes back to the team. It goes back to the support system. Like, does he have people around him that are really there for his best interest, right? One thing about Keyshawn you can't take away is that I really truly feel he loves his family. He loves his brothers. He loves his
Yeah,
sisters.
for sure.
So he's definitely a family man, And sometimes, he may weigh that on his shoulders a little bit, and it can make you feel a little bit depressed when things don't go well, right? And not to make excuses, but him kind of spazzing out after his brother lost, that's him, loving his brother, and then spazzing out because things didn't work out. Because his brother won, you know what I'm saying? And that wasn't part of, quote unquote, the business plan. You feel me? So yeah, I think when it comes to Keyshawn, I think you're spot on with that. But I think there's he's been showing signs of him trying to, walk through it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's all up to him and to maybe some of his support system, his family, to kind of get him and keep up the good work and stay on that right track. But yeah, man. But with Shakur, I think there's a little bit difference there. But I definitely wanted to point out BVO spot on with Keyshawn.
And what Tommy is really saying is this. This is what TD is really
girly
saying.
Girly men.
That's what he really said.
Come on, man.
Keyshawn already is a product of not having his father in his life, so that goes back to what I said earlier. He's already came out saying we don't do those. Remember, he was screaming in the car talking about Dad, I don't got no dad. We don't do those. You remember? He's all emotional, but he's only messed up really bad one time though. You got to remember when he did that first fight in Virginia, how much of a success it was. All his brothers won, he won. His sisters sang the national anthem. We came up here and praised him. Then he turned around and did that, and it kind of rubbed the fans wrong.
Let me add something too, and I brought this up in a video that I did last year. Like I was at the fight last year. I've been to 3 Keyshawn Davis fights, right? But I was at the fight where he won the title, and I got the chance to talk to him before the fight, and I waited for him to come out after the fight. And while I was waiting, there had a couple family members there. Like there was an uncle, and I believe there was an aunt there too. Like 2 from different sides. Like it was an uncle with his wife and his aunt with her man or whatever it was. And we were just speaking after the fight. And it was a small group because everybody went back to the hotel or either went home. And I was talking to them, and it was like, Keyshawn's a really good dude. They were telling me stuff that I didn't really ask about. And he's like, he's a really humble person, and he really has a good heart. They were saying really good things about him. So when people of his family tell you things like that, and you don't even ask about him and stuff like that, I think that's a good sign. It shows that he's got a good, support system, and that he's not as bad as maybe people may think. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to
ask you this. I want to ask you because I got to hear from Junior. And Junior, this is what I want to play one clip before you go, man.
Being a black man in America isn't easy. The hunt is on. And you're the prey.
Go ahead, Junior.
The hunt is on.
Wow.
And you're the prey. No, I'm just playing. So, I mean, you talk about Keyshawn Davis, and the thing with him, he's coming in as was an Olympic silver medalist after a few pro fights, right? Then gets basically in the scene within 10 or 11 fights. Thomas was talking about, the whole thing with Keyshawn in his first fight that he had in Norfolk, right? But before that, they were in the midst of building him up to get to that level where he would be like a world champion. Because when we saw him fighting the dude over in Newark as part of that Shakur card, they were saying then they were building him up to eventually become or try to get a world title shot. So when they had that fight in Norfolk, that's when they were saying hey, we want to see if we could get in that world title shot. So Top Rank already had a plan for him. All he had to do was execute it. So when he did win that title there in New York City, that was phase 1. Phase 2 was to get that world title defense in Norfolk. But given what was going on, at least for me, I thought by the time he had fought, dude in New York City, that he should have moved up. Because when you saw him against that dude in New York City, I'm like, man, this is like a freaking welterweight going up against a lightweight, dog, for real.
He was big. He was 12 pounds over. Was it like Lemos or something?
I'm telling you, it was like Keyshawn made 135, but when he like rehydrated, it looked like he was
He came in big as
147.
hell.
He looked like a
Yeah,
middleweight.
yeah. So I'm like, well, yeah. After this fight, yeah, he wins the title, but I'm like, he really shouldn't like be like have another fight at 135. But
Salute,
since
brother
it
Drew
was,
Titan in the building.
but
Salute.
since it was like hometown fight, first time you have a world title fight at Scope Arena since Sweet Pea Whitaker and all that. They wanted to make it to where he could do that, but it just didn't happen that way. But as far as like him, he's had like a past, like when he was young and everything like that. So all of that stuff, kind of like comes back to him. So when he's talking to Andre Ward about it and all that stuff, it's just him trying to deal with all that. Well, at the same
You
time,
talking about Pastor Ward?
No, not Pastor Ward, Andre Ward.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
stop that.
pastor.
Yeah, stop that.
he said Pastor Ward. Come
Why
on,
you got to
man.
do that to our people?
Come
Hey,
on,
man. This is Sports Talk Network, man. We got some fun. I'll be talking about shit, nigga preaching.
Hey, it's like Terrence Crawford said, it be our own people. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, he was like saying all of this stuff, that all of his transgressions to Andre Ward, and how many times that Shakur Stevenson had basically had his back, when he was young and stuff like that too. So he's still dealing with all that, while trying to build up his career. So it's going to be a wait and see approach here, because hey, he did have a performance against Jermaine Ortiz, but now we got to see, okay, what's next for you, bro?
I'm gonna say this, and I want to get my man Puerto Rican Free. When y'all see Free, remember he's not black, he's Puerto Rican. But I want to say this before I bring up the Puerto Rican Prince. I think, and this kind of goes into T.O. as well, because the T.O. that I've met at the fight and we seen when we hung out later is a very different guy than we seen on TV.
Facts.
Now I'm a big mofo, so I was pretty angry at the dude at the
piece of shot.
Some Indian goofball came on some. I'm almost said something wrong here, but some Indian dude that like to treat blacks crazy.
Yeah, he
Whatever
definitely
was wrong
was.
with this dude.
And
So
for
I
no
kinda let
reason
him
too.
know- I kind of let him know, hey man.
Nah,
I'm
tell
with
the
my
truth.
wife,
you cussed
man.
the piece
I
of
hurt
man
you.
out. He
No, I
cussed the
didn't cuss
piece
him
of.
out.
Yes, he did.
I didn't
Yes,
cuss
he
him
did.
out. I didn't cuss him out. That's a lie.
BVO
But let me
cussed the
say this.
man out, paid for my food, paid for my soda, and we left, and we still got good pizza. That's a fact.
But this is the thing I want to say. When I see him in person, and you see him, it's almost like a confidence issue. I don't know where it's coming from, because I don't care what nobody say. I've played football. I've seen people say some horrible stuff, and I'm gonna be honest. I done said some foul stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and play like I haven't. I done said some real foul. BBO done said some foul stuff. But the thing I'll say is this: I could just say when I look at him, I see a really baby person, and it's bad when you got a father who doesn't hold you accountable and wants to be your friend. And I think you kind of see those cracks in T.O.'s psyche now, where when he get in there with one of the slickest, blackest Puerto Rican niggas, he had no confidence. He had no confidence.
Jesus.
And I think it just stems to why we see these different quirks of people. It's how you were raised. I don't know if you guys probably never seen a movie called The Five Heartbeats, right?
Of course.
The guy was boning the guy's, I think Doug's girl was getting boned by JT. And he said, you the same selfish dude you was when we were kids. If you think about it, a lot of stuff goes back to childhood. And I just hate to see it. It's like you get to the top of the mountain and these guys be so weak mentally. It's like you gotta do the work. Forever, Will Smith's greatest moment will always be marred because he let a punk get him all excited and he slapped him. This dude was at the pinnacle of his life. He waited his whole life to get an Oscar, got up there and cried like a newborn. I thought he was Chinese, he was crying so hard. But it's still always got that stand of him slapping Chris Rock. So that's what I'm saying. It's just important to do the mental work early, because guess what? You're on your way up, man. And that's why I be trying to tell people when it comes to Abdul Wahid, who I can say a bunch of stuff about, but bro, learn. Don't just laugh at the dude, learn. Because I'm tired of seeing niggas in jail. I'm tired of seeing people making the same mistakes. And then you got cornballs who never been through nothing, who want to tell guys how to live. Bro, when you're from the ghetto, dog, thank God for my grandma. Who knows what would happen with me, man. So that's what I mean when I say that. But let me get your opinion on that. Go ahead, Frank. What's your opinion on that, man?
Free fell down the steps.
My opinion on what?
Just on how important it is to take care of your mental health before as you continue to rise in your life. Because if you don't, it shows back up.
It's important to take care of your mental health as well as any other part of health. Your mental health that affects your brain. I mean, everything is done from the head down. So if your brain is infected, it's going to infect the rest of your body. So that's why we see people lash out. We see people we have these people that's locked up that we call the serial unalivers and things like that because they have mental issues. All that stuff is mental issues. And this is not something that's new. Mental issues has always been out there. It's just people never knew how to identify it. But when you in sports or in entertainment, you in front of millions of people, you got fans and things like that. They look at you as an icon or a star, almost like a superhero. So you try to hold up an image, and that can affect your mental health because you feel like if something happens and you fall off, you're not going to have the same fans, and that deals with you mentally, which can cause you to have mental illness or mental issues. And I think a lot of us forget that these people are human. Yes, they on TV, but this is not a movie. These are real live people. This is not a cartoon. This is reality. Sports, entertainment, those are reality. Yes, it's TV, but it's reality. These are real people. And so I think a lot of times we forget that these are real people. It's almost like when you watch a TV show or every day, like people watch Martin their whole childhood. When they first met Martin, they didn't look at Martin Lawrence as the person. They looked at Martin Lawrence as the character on TV. They looked at Cole as the character on TV. They didn't look at him as Carl. They looked at him as Cole.
What about Hustle Man?
Yeah, Hustle Man too. I mean, they didn't look at him as Tracy Morgan. They looked at him as Hustle Man. So
they didn't look at Brotman from the fifth floor. They didn't look at him as a regular. They looked at him as the nigga coming into the window.
I remember it was a stand up that Mike Epps did, and he said he was at the airport, and some people came out and was like, "Hey, what's going on, Day Day?" He was like, "My name ain't Day Day. My name is Mike." And he said, but it did help him out one time because he got smart with somebody, and then the dude was part of a Mexican gang, and he went and got his people. He said he went outside and saw that it was a bunch of Mexicans out there that was ready to beat him up, and then one of the dudes was like, "Hey, that's Day." And then he started doing his little skit. So I think a lot of times we forget that these people are human, and that can cause people to have mental issues. These individuals, they are human. They make mistakes. They want to mess up at times the same way everybody else mess up at times. You might mess up. You might have messed up 3 or 4 times a day, but we won't know about it because you're not in the spotlight. This is stuff that you're behind the scenes. You're not in the spotlight. These actors, these celebrities, these athletes, they're in the spotlight. So anything they do, if they're a big time star, is going to be magnified because they always got paparazzi around, or they always got somebody that got their phone out the videotape or take pictures. So I think we got to remember that these individuals are human as well.
Let me do this real quick. Let me do this before you come in. I got my man Dub. Shout out to my man Right Side. I'm gonna bring you up after this. So speaking of that, and I want to speak because if I'm all 3 of these guys, I want to kind of give thoughts on. Because I know y'all always had to say BBO, love, T.O., blah, 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 blah. But T.O. reminds me, when I was a kid, there was a young guy, he played for the Texas Rangers. His name was Alex Rodriguez. And I love Alex Rodriguez and I love Barry Bonds as a kid. And Alex Rodriguez was the first guy I seen as a kid that looked uncomfortable in his own skin. And I could just remember when he came to New York, it got worse. And it got worse, and it got worse. And actually, it didn't really get better until like when I graduated high school around 2008. That's when I kind of seen him. I think right before he won the World Series, he kind of started to get comfortable in his own skin. And when I look at Tio, I see a man who's very uncomfortable in his own skin. And I think to an extent, he says and does things because he thinks it's cool. I don't know if you guys ever seen this show called Mad TV, where the dude said, look what I can do. His name was Stewart. And I feel like Tio was like that dancing goofball who just said, what can I do? Look what I can do. And I think it's just important that we got to realize that some of these guys just don't be comfortable in their own skin. And I'm going to ask TD and I'm going to go to my man Dub after I get done, after my man Junior come. So what would you say to that? What would you say about being comfortable in your own skin? What would you say to that, TD?
I think it's tough, especially, I mean, it's not as easy as it looks, it seems. Like everybody goes through things differently, right? And I guess when you're a quote unquote star, like in a sport, or if you're a star on TV, a person, a TV star or a personality, right? It's tough, right? Because you're putting extra pressure on yourself, maybe for no reason, and maybe there is a reason. You know what I'm saying? So being uncomfortable in your own skin, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say, about anybody else and what they go through and what's on their mind. I can only speak for myself and what the things I got going on. So it's tough, but I do believe it happens, and I do believe that could be a very possibility. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. I know
you're a Mets fan. Did you see that? Did you see that with A-Rod too back in the day, or that's just something I've seen as a kid?
I know what you're talking about when it comes to A-Rod, because A-Rod, I always thought A-Rod was a weird individual.
Yeah.
I follow baseball, and A-Rod was a great talent, but
right.
you think about this, right? The great talent that he was, right, when he got drafted and signed by the Seattle Mariners, right? Why he popped dirty a few times for steroids? Not once, I believe 2 or 3 times.
Not twice.
It was multiple times.
Not 3 times.
A guy so talented as he was, playing a position, right, in shortstop, which is one of the toughest positions to play in baseball, right? That's a tough spot, to play, and then being a big home run hitter for and playing that position, it's very tough. And then you're going to go ahead and take steroids. So yeah, I would have to agree with you, and say you're uncomfortable with your own skin and uncomfortable with your own abilities, that you have to go ahead and take supplements, that will get you to make you better. Because for me, baseball is different, because in baseball, steroids may help, but you still got to hit that ball.
You still got to have that timing, TD. You can't enhance timing, bro.
Yeah, you still got to, pick up signs and guess on pitches, and you got to do film and all that other stuff. And
No, TD.
I'm just saying,
if you on steroids, this is what I'll say. I've seen Roger Clemens' old ass look like he did what he was with the Boston Red Sox. When he was old as hell with the Astros.
No.
I've seen. You remember Barry was either going to be a walk or it was going to be a home run.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds' timing is crazy though.
Yeah, but
I can be all juiced up as I want. You think I can go hit one of them pitches off an MLB pitcher? Hell no.
No, I think
Ask light skinned Sammy.
No,
wow.
But listen to what I'm saying.
Wow.
And I played baseball for years, and I've coached baseball. I coached baseball for years too. Pitching and hitting is different. What I'm saying is in baseball, for him to take that and for anybody to take something, I think it's more of a confident booster, right? And that goes back to what you to the main point. Uncomfortable with your own skin and ability, right? To go out there and perform, you got to take this, extra supplement. That's what I'm saying. So I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying when it comes to baseball and steroids, it's a totally different conversation. So.
We'll give us your thoughts, Junior, and then we'll hear from my man right side, all the way from Winter Robbins, Georgia.
Yo, so you were talking about this thing here with Teofimo Lopez. Remember, like back when they had the fights over in Barclays Center, and with Danny Garcia, we was out there with Jaleel Hackett, right?
Yeah.
One of the
shout out to the sponsor, next middleweight champion.
Yes.
So Jaleel Hackett, and this is like happening like 2 times. Like Jaleel Hackett be talking with Teofimo Lopez a lot.
Yeah, that's his man.
Yeah. So the thing is like, they've been having the stuff that they say about Teofimo Lopez or whatever it is, but it seems like Teofimo tries too hard to quote unquote fit in or try to like be one of the cool kids. You see what I'm saying? Because he's been around all of these fighters. Like, he was out there with the Olympic trials and everything like that. He represented the Olympics, but as he said, he was the one that didn't quite make it in comparison to those other guys. So he's been basically spending most of his career trying to prove himself to those other guys. So now it's like, with him going up against the Shakur Stevenson that's like worlds better than him, like, he really couldn't do anything that could match Shakur Stevenson. So at least right now, this was more of an embarrassing loss than the Kambosos fight. So I want to see how he responds to this in comparison to the Kambosos fight.
Yeah. Go ahead, right side.
Well, first things first, man. Shout out to the panel, man. Shout out to everybody out here, man. We got my brother, the boxing sources in the building. Salute to my guy, man. Shout out to BBO, aka Sombrero. You know what I'm saying? We got everybody. Y'all know who in the building. I think y'all out of order a tad bit. And I'm gonna tell you what. Teofimo Lopez has not handled. He hasn't handled adversity well. When you look at fighters, and when we're gonna see the best out of them guys, they're able to handle adversity, and Tio hasn't been able to do that. You know what I'm saying? When he gets into certain situations, and I'm not talking about inside the ring, I'm talking about outside the ring as well. He gets out there, he starts saying certain things and doing certain things, and I think that goes into his performance inside the ring. And so I understand what y'all are saying, but at the end of the day, this man, he don't know how to handle adversity. That's his biggest problem. He don't know how to truly handle it, take it, embrace it, grow from it, and become a better guy. And not just especially fighter, but a better person. I don't think he understands it yet. And no disrespect to his father. I think everybody need their father in their life. No disrespect to T.O. Sr., but I don't think T.O. Sr., as far as the instruction and the things that he's giving this young man right now, I think he kind of missing the boat with it.
Come on, bro.
I think he's missing the boat with it. And I think this is the downfall of Teofimo right now. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, and I say it unfortunately because we speak on fathers over here, BBO. We didn't have these conversations a lot, and T.O. Sr. is there, but he out of order. So if the father is out of order, what the son gonna be? Out of order.
Well, yeah,
and that's what this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing from T.O. So I think that his father is doing his son a disservice. There was a time that, you got him to where he's at now, and you made him a champion. No problem. Give it up, man. It ain't on you no more. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody really talk to him and break, because T.O. even before this, in I believe that it was the Carlos Ocampo fight, when he went, what he said, do I still got it? He questioned himself. Sandro Martin. He questioning himself at this point. So now he's starting to question himself. Well, I don't need the instruction of where's your power at, bro? Punch him.
You gotta hit him.
You gotta hit. Well, we all know that. I don't think that's what he needs anymore, man. You need true instruction as far as, okay, look, hold on. This is the adjustment they made to what we got going. So now we're gonna make this adjustment. I need you to get into the high guard. I need you to press forward in this fight. You're gonna get clipped with some shots. You already getting clipped with the jab anyways. So he's gonna hit us with the jab, but we're gonna get in the high guard so we can get on the inside and we can really work. I want to hear those type of instructions, because that's where a fighter, man. Hey, it's all good to be rah-rah, you know what I'm saying? But at some point in time, when your fighter's in the ring confused, then that's what the corner is for. To
what were you saying?
Say, okay, I see you're kind of confused as far as what to do right now. This is how we're gonna attack. This is how we're going to. And I think that's what he missing in his corner as far. And I think that T.O. is a very skillful guy, but at the same time, he needs some instruction. He need the instruction. You can't. The game plan got to change through. The game plan always has to be fluid. It can't just be stagnant. This is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna stick to what we do. It can't be that. Once somebody make an adjustment, all right, they made the adjustment. Now we fit to adjust accordingly. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's that's what T.O. is missing, and I think he's missing it as far as training goes and in the ring. So if you can kind of put, I remember listening to Breadman. Breadman was like, man, when we go out there, we got game, we got A, B, right? We got C, and if none of them don't work, we still got another backup plan that we can go back to. We ain't got to go back to A. You understand? And so
that's the Breadman that said F this crowd. That dude.
Hey,
that was crazy.
I don't care what he said about the crowd. I'm talking about what he tell the fighter.
Oh, okay. I just want to make
you
sure.
You can see the difference between brother Bernard coaching his son in his last fight compared to T.O. And his father in his last fight. You can see there was a big difference between Coach B and T.O. Senior.
Yeah,
but this is the thing.
I wish you would get. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it was like Dub said. Teofimo Senior was basically out of order during fight week, but hey.
But yeah, let me add to that because
let me just say this one thing before you go. Go my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Like the fourth or fifth time I'm saying it, but it's not just inside the ring of him coaching him. You know, Teal's father's a bad influence outside the ring, and some of the things that Teal's done is you know, and the things he's saying do is a reflection off of from his father and his father's immaturity at his age. Yeah, he's done a great job. He's done a great job raising his son, right, and making him a world champion. But the things outside the ring that Teal's done is a reflection of his father. Like he's a bad apple in and out of the ring. And
but if you heard what I said though, I literally, I think it's time. Give it up, man. Respectfully, give it up.
I would say this to what y'all saying to that.
You ain't registered. Listen, nigga, he still ain't registered.
We can't even finish without you dropping.
Hey, hold on, Dub. Get in order. What I'll say is this. I think of it like this, and I like what CD said, but my whole thing is this: you can't do anything but really give T.O. Senior praise for what he did with his son. From what you see with him, he enables his son. He babies him. Like if his son forgot the chips, he's not gonna say a word. Some people, if their son forget the chips, they're gonna let him know, "Hey man, you forgot the chips." T.O. son gonna be T.O. Senior gonna be like, "Okay, cool, you got me a sandwich. I'll take that." And I think that's what happens when you accept anything your children give you. And it's just a reflection of what we get now with this. And I don't know if y'all really see it. T.O. Senior is trying to be T.O. Junior's friend. No matter how much I disagree at times, I wish Devin Haney would stop being a merman and talk more or do more or whatever. I got to give Billy his credit. He at least got it to where there's a sense of, I'm your father, dude. It ain't just whatever you want.
Yeah, but there's a complete difference at being a friend and being a father. But then there's teaching them the ropes of how to be a professional, and not just a professional athlete, just a professional in general, a professional human being. And Teal's father is not any of that. He's still we all joke around and we have a sense of immaturity here and there. But what Teal's father does and what he says and how he acts, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? And him being his friend and being his father at the same time, that's cool if you're showing him, right from wrong, and showing him what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I'm saying. The support system that T.O. got, it starts with his father in and outside the ring. And you're seeing that, in all the little jokes in the comments and the immature, pranks or whatever you want to call it that he does. And the racist comments and stuff like that comes from his father. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's legit or whether he's just joking around, it's not professional.
TD, let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. You kind of tapped in.
Before you ask him, let me ask you this, TD. Before you ask him this, let me ask you this. Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, brother, get in order. But I'm going to say this. I want to ask you this, TD, about that. When you say that about T.O., are you keeping in mind that T.O.'s dad had been attacked that whole week of the fight. You had people talking about whatever was going on with him, that was cool. You see Bud Crawford, the biggest, blackest champion in the building, come up to him and say some foul stuff. Even his woman tried to hold him back. And they talk all this gangster stuff, you know, they represent gangsters, and you know how they do, man, over there. You know how they do with the Prince family. Why don't you give him a break on the fact that he was going against some thugs and gangsters, bro?
But they were talking. Video, what you don't understand is that T.O. and his father were talking that, you know, ghetto, gangster, whatever stuff at the same time. I told you the story what T.O. told me after the Michaela Mayer Sandy Ryan fight here in New York.
Right.
I told her what he said. He was talking that gangster stuff, like they would never touch him outside and this and this and that, because if anything happens to me, something's gonna happen to them and their whole family. He told me this in person, bro, in front of Rich Man Cuso and in front of other media people there.
Uncle Rich?
Yes. Wow. T.O. said this, and his father's standing right there, standing on it. So like when you talk all this gangster stuff, whatever, when it comes back to you, you ask for it, in my opinion. So I can't use that what Crawford did as an excuse. I mean, you know, making it like it's wrong. No, T.O. and his father started it, bro.
Hey, go ahead, Duck. You got a question? Go ahead, Duck.
No, it slipped my mind. It slipped my mind.
Oh, go ahead, Junior.
Wow.
No, hey, like I was saying for that fight we drank with T.O. and Shakur, right? And if y'all go back to the whole joint with the press conference that they had, right? You had Teofimo Lopez there. You know, you had his manager there and everything like that. But on the other side, it was Shakur. It was Wally Moses. It was, you know, Jay Prince and everything like that, right? One of the things in that press conference that stood out was the comments from Wally Moses to Teofimo Lopez saying that, hey, where's your father at? Where's your father at? And then later on, they say, hey, yo, you know what? I got a gift for you. Make sure that your father has it. And y'all know what was in that bag. Why? Because, they did see what was going on with Teofimo Lopez Sr. at the hotel during fight week. That is not like what people would say fake. He was messing around during fight week. Bullshitting. Yeah. And you can't have that when your son is about to have what could be the biggest fight of his career. You can't have that. As y'all say, that's out of order.
Yeah. My question would be this. When we got to get on Shakur, man. We can't let the Puerto Rican go free. I know TD's Puerto Rican, so that's why he's doing that. But let me ask you this, D-Free. When you see like the behind the scenes stuff that we see keep coming up when it comes to Shakur, is that a character flaw or is these just misunderstanding? What would you say, Free?
I think that's who he is. I think what a lot of people fail to realize is these guys are trying to find what works for them to be a star. A lot of these guys want to be a star. And in order for you to be a star, you have to have people talking about you. So they do things to try to get people talking about them. I don't think Shakur is a quote unquote thug or anything like that. I do believe he talks a lot of smack. I believe all these fighters talks a lot of smack, but when you get to one-on-one, I don't think they carry that same energy for the most part. But I think a lot of times these guys want to be a star, and they don't know how to go about being a star because they're not getting the ticket sales, or they're not getting the views that they think they should get, or they're not getting the people talking about them the way they believe the people should be talking about them. So they're trying to figure out how to become a star. I think that's the same thing with T.O. I think T.O. was trying to figure out what can he do to become a star, to get people talking about him. I think a lot of these guys do that. So I mean, even Tank Davis will put out a couple of tweets here and there to make sure his name is still out there or whatever have you. But I mean, all of them do it. It's just they're trying to be a star because they don't have. Everybody wants that Floyd and that Floyd effect. They want people to come out and buy their fight, no matter who they fight. They want the biggest box office, the biggest pay-per-views, no matter who they fight. And so they trying to figure out how can they go about doing it. And so they would do and say things to get people talking about it. Because the one thing that people feed into these fights is when you're talking about a specific fighter and somebody might not know who that fighter is or they might not know that they're fighting. But once we start talking about it and they see we talking about this fight that's coming up with it, now all of a sudden they want to buy into the fight. Oh yeah, I didn't even know he was fighting. Or I don't know who this guy is. Let me check him out and see who he is. So I think that's what they do. They try to get people to talk about him.
What would you say, TD or Boxing Source about that? About the whole Shakur doing the behind the scenes stuff.
No, go ahead, TD. If you got something.
Yeah, I don't know why he doing that stuff behind the scene. Shout out Ohio Run Boxing. I wish they would just get, just fight each other, man. If you get all the weight clauses and all that, just move up the welterweight. He looked like a welterweight in his last couple fights anyway, Shakur did. So I don't see the problem. I don't see what the deal with these rehydration clauses. I don't think he needs all that. That's just me though.
Yeah, I don't understand why he came up with that rehydration clause, because prior to the fight he had with Tio, he told Shakur, I fight you. I don't care if you go to if you blow up to 170. It's not about how big you are, it's about the skills. And then all of a sudden, now he's talking about Conor Ben and Devin, they gotta have a rehydration clause. Why they gotta have a rehydration clause when you just saying you don't care if they blow up to 170? If you got the skills, you'll be able to beat them. So I mean, then you were sitting there talking bad about Tank Davis with the rehydration clause. Now you're throwing out the rehydration clause.
Right.
You know what's funny about that too is that Shakur was having that whole conversation with Conor Ben way before he was having a fight with Teofimo, and said that he would see him at 147. So he wasn't talking about the rehydration clause at that point, But
yeah, I don't understand that.
And it's like the other thing too with Shakur in the recent stuff that was happening a couple of days ago when he was on with that Aiden Ross dude, and him and Terrence Crawford was on that joint, and he was talking about the MMA folks. Like, I think they're trying to do that to gain interest. You know what I mean?
Please smash the like button. Support the brand.
That I think they were trying to gain interest with that too, because they still talk about it. You still got Terrence Crawford making tweets about it, and Shakur making tweets about it. So I think they just trying to get more interest from fans or whatever it is to be interested in what they're gonna be doing or what their next fight is. But yeah, they just ain't really got the formula down yet.
I personally don't have an issue with Shakur, doing what he's doing and saying what he's saying. I think one of the biggest problems that's happening in the sport is that these guys talk too much and talking to the media and saying things that they really shouldn't be saying. Shakur just had one of the biggest wins of his career. No matter what anybody wants to say, we should be talking about his performance and talking about him with potential matchups with guys at 140, and if he wants to go up to 147, right? He hasn't made a decision on his next fight yet, and we're already criticizing him, and you got already people calling him a
Right.
nut. And I personally don't think it's fair. Listen, when Floyd Mayweather,
I agree with that, TD.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather kind of did the similar thing that the Shakur's doing. When Floyd went up and Floyd, he beat
Hold on.
Right? Wait,
You called this nigga Floyd Mayweather?
No, I said similar moves, man. you have a hard time, understanding. Let me explain. When Floyd beat Gotti, right? That was a big win for him at that time. Right, Gotti was the champion. He beat Gotti in Atlantic City, which is like a home fight for Gotti, right? Because Gotti's like the king of Atlantic City. He went in there and he beat Gotti up bad. He stopped him, right? Shakur didn't get a stoppage, but he beat up T.O. pretty much 12 rounds, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then what did Floyd do after that? He went up to 147, right? And there was a lot of smoke with a lot of different guys. A lot of people wanted to fight Floyd, and who did he fight? He fought Shamba Mitchell, right? So what Shakur's doing, let's see what he does next. There's a lot of champions at 140, a lot of good fighters at 140, which might be one of the best divisions in boxing. That and 154, right? 147 is weak, right? If he would have went up and fought like Crocker, people would have killed him. If he, you know what I'm saying? People would have crucified this man. Let's see what he's gonna do next. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like. I think Shakur is getting a bad rap for no reason. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion,
he getting a bad rap for putting out this rehydration call.
Yeah, but nothing has been signed and nothing has been made yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's right now it's just talk. It does look bad. Yeah, I definitely admit that. But
that's where the criticism come from, TD.
That's what I'm saying. See, the reason why he's getting criticized is because of the rehydration call. It's not about the call out for Devin Haney or the call out for Conor Benn. It's the rehydration call because everybody remembers when you was getting it with Tank Davis for the rehydration call for Ryan Garcia. Talking about that was weak. If you that dude, you would just fight him. You don't need a rehydration call. And then now all of a sudden, you want a rehydration call to fight Devin and to fight Conor Benn. And so Tank wasn't fighting Ryan at 135. Ryan said he can't make 135. So Tank said, okay, well, I want a rehydration call. If you can fight at 135, there will be no rehydration call. But he couldn't. So he said he wanted a rehydration call. And Shakur got on Tank Davis for that. Now you're turning around and doing the same thing that Tank Davis did, that you clowned him and talked bad about him doing. That's why he's getting criticized.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. No, you're right. You're right. I think that's fair. But I just want to. The reason why, like, I say what I say is because we're not even 2 weeks from his fight, and like he just had the biggest win, in my opinion, of his career right now. Right, moving up, fighting it, the ring champion, the number one guy at 140. Listen, a lot of people compare him to Dev. I think him versus Dev is a great fight, but when you look at both guys when they went up to 140, Shakur did it better than what Haney did to Regis, right? Because Shakur fought the best guy, and I don't think Regis was the best guy at the time.
He was a lot older,
top guy, but he wasn't the best guy. So, like, let's just sit back and wait a little bit. But yeah, criticism is always granted. You know what I'm saying? But I just like to look at what they did in the ring, and let's see what they do next. That's what I say to me. And that's why Floyd, because Floyd went and fought Shamba Mitchell, and nobody asked for Shamba Mitchell, right? And everybody.
So you compared to Floyd because of Shamba Mitchell.
Hold on. Hey, like I said before, I'm TBE. So you know what? I could choose Shamba Mitchell. I could choose Chop Corley. It don't matter because at the end of the day, I beat everybody. They couldn't touch me. I'm TBE.
Hey, I love when Floyd say, what Floyd say, if I want to retire, I will retire. And I gotta say this: the thing that Tommy's doing is because Shakur came out as Puerto Rican, he's glazing. So this is what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Wow. He's glazing.
That's terrible, bro. I gave you good talking points and reasons. Like nobody remembers that with Floyd. I mean, come on, bro. Man, give me some credit.
No, the glazing is crazy. I mean, I put like this: that kind of pickle pulling, we don't advocate here because that make people pass out when you pickle pull like that. So that's all I'm saying, man. You can't pickle pull like that. Man. That'll make somebody pass out. But let me ask you guys this:
unbelievable.
Why is the Devin Haney talk for Shakur Sanchez getting so hot when we heard Sanchez back out of wanting to fight 147? Where is that coming from, you guys think?
Shakur Sanchez is wild, bro. Come on. Damn.
Hey, I thought it was Puerto Rican. It's either Sanchez or Rivera. Sorry, Shakur Rivera. My bad. I don't know. The dude say he's Puerto Rican now. He didn't grew his hair out. You see him now. He's like a double, all that.
Hey, so you said this next fight is gonna be during Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend?
It might be. Did you see his shorts? What did he say, Tommy? Well, Tommy don't speak Spanish. He said what? Shakur Steven, Noveva, or something. I don't know what he said.
That was an old video from when his pops was alive, and he made a promise to his dad because his dad wasn't in his life. And then the last few years of his dad's life, he tried to be part of Shakur Stevenson's life for those last few years, and he promised his father that he would honor and take embrace his Puerto Rican culture. That's all he did. And he had the only flag he had was a small flag on his trunks. He didn't come out there waving a flag. You know what I'm saying? He's not out there playing reggaeton or anything like that. Come on, bro. You guys take things a little bit too far.
Hold on. He should have been in this picture with Bad Bunny in them, but he wasn't. Let me see. I think I got a picture. I think we got a picture somewhere of Shakur with the flag on his back. Have you ever seen that
No,
picture, Junior?
what you got a picture that Top Rank put out of a flyer of Puerto Rican fighters. That's what you got. That Shakur never came to the ring with a Puerto Rican flag.
Well, I just want to ask you guys.
He's not out there wearing like a hop, like a. You know what? I'm done. I'm done.
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? He didn't come up with no Bufungo or something?
You guys got it, man. You guys are wrong.
No, because you switch it up. And Dub, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Dub, didn't he magically become Puerto Rican? Or am I wrong?
Wait, say that again?
Didn't he magically say out of nowhere he was Puerto Rican?
That was years ago. That was an old video that just came up again. And you gotta understand with him wearing the Puerto Rican flag on his trunks is a little bit more significant to what you guys are really saying. It goes to what Tio said about how he would eat Puerto Ricans up and that they were easy and stuff like that. So I mean, that's another reason why he had the flag on his trunk. So come on, bro. You forget what Tio said?
I don't know what Tio said. I don't listen to Tio.
Tio said that Puerto Rican fighters are easy, that he eats them up alive.
Is Puerto Ricans considered black?
I would say so. They got dropped off earlier, but I won't say they black. Okay, they would tell you they ain't black.
What difference does it make if he say he's Puerto Rican or he say he's black? They're considered black anyway. What difference does it make?
we eat chicken, cornbread greens.
They eat chicken as well.
They eat pollo. They eat pollo and rice.
We eat chicken as well.
Yo, you wild, yo. I swear. You wild. My wife is listening to you right now and see, yo, you wild, bro. You are wild.
Hey, and they say nasty stuff to us like call us Morenos. You're gonna hear Shakur calling black fighters Morenos soon. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
But they don't. That's not a bad word, bro.
Hey, it ain't I love you. It ain't I love you.
It's the color black in Spanish. That's all it is.
So y'all call us Blanco and y'all got all these slick names. Negro, Blanco, nigga. Y'all do all that. Shakur's gonna do that.
Blanco means white.
Hold on. You said they do all these things. That's their language. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how they treat blacks.
You got my wife.
That's their language.
You are I'm laughing right now.
So because they don't say black the same way you say black is wrong, that's their language.
Well, my name ain't Negro. It's not about Moreno.
I mean, let's be honest. You Scottish. You Scottish.
I'm Scottish.
So
wow.
You're not black. You're a Scottish Mexican.
Oh wow. Well, I wish you would turn your mic on.
Didn't you tell me that your family is Scottish or something like that?
No. My family got some Sicilian in it, but that's black.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it is not.
Black. But let me ask you this, Doug. Now, when you see a guy like, Tommy on cold when it comes to these Puerto Ricans, it's the same thing he did with Sergio Matias. Does it ever shock you to see that he does that, but when it comes to the blacks, it's never the same kind of support? What would you say, Doug, right side?
I wouldn't answer the question because it comes with a listen. I don't understand this whole race thing that we got going on with boxing. Nigga, if you can fight, you can fight. That's how I look at boxing. If you can fight, you can fight. I don't care if you're black, white, Mexican, Hispanic. I don't care what you is. Like my grandma, like she used to tell me, I don't give a damn what you is. If you can fight, you can fight. So I don't forget they race. Let's talk about what happened in the ring. That's what I care about. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Damn what their race is. Damn what their nationality. Forget all of that. How about we talk about what happened in the ring? If you want to ask me now, why did Tio get cooked the way he got cooked in the fight? We can address that. We'll address that immediately. But anything with this whole race situation, man, for the longest, and we are human. We all the same. When I talk to TD, me and TD, That brother, hey, what you Puerto Rican TD?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't care if he Puerto Rican. I talk to that brother like I'm gonna talk to you, BVO. I'm gonna talk to Free. I didn't even know Free was Puerto Rican until you brought that up. I didn't even know that. It don't matter what
the name is a Puerto Rican prince. How did you not know that?
But it doesn't matter. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter. We're talking about boxing, and that's the great thing about the sport of boxing is all of it can be settled in the square circle. That's where it can be settled at, and we can talk about what you do in that square circle instead of talking about race and all this other kind of stuff and what these folks talk. I'm not here for that. Tell me what you want. Ask me a question about what happened in the damn ring. And I'll tell you what I'll tell you is that Shakur, as you would call him, Sanchez, Shakur Stevenson went in there and what he did. He put hands on Teofimo Lopez like I thought he would. I didn't think it was gonna be that easy, but he went in there and put hands on that man. It ain't had nothing to do with Teo being, what is he, Ecuadorian or something? I don't know what he is. Honduran. Whatever Teo is. Honduran, excuse me.
CMOS. That's what they got the CMOS on. But
it don't mean nothing. Him being Honduran don't mean nothing. We like that man, and we like him because he can fight, but we dislike him because what he say. You know what I'm saying? The racist things that he say. And now when you get into this conversation, you're feeding into the racism and the whole race conversation. That ain't what we here for. I ain't here for it.
Well, let me say this because I want to say something and I want to answer that question. But before I want to say this.
Being a black man in America isn't easy. The hunt is on. And you're the prey.
And if you believe if you want to sit there and believe you're a victim, then believe you're a victim.
No. I don't believe in victimhood. Let me play this before you go.
I'm answering
before you go. No, because I didn't finish. I had one more clip. No, I had one more clip. I promise. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna get out to let you go. I got one more clip.
To take some blame in this ourselves. As black people, we can't sit around waiting for white people to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. And our failure to do this is our fault. White folk have done bad by us in the past. Yes, that is true. And they do some bad by us today. But if we did better by ourselves today, we could help to reconcile this difference.
So how about if you're gonna play that clip, then stop blaming and stop with the nonsense. Hold on, man. Now, you said you gonna let me cook. You said I'm gonna play the clip, but let you cook. So stop the blaming, stop the nonsense, stop the race baiting. How about we just talk about what these folks do in the ring? Now, when T.O. come out here and he say the whole, the whole monkey stuff, I watched you get up here and say, even though T.O. did that, you said, well, when we met him, he didn't really believe that. So, hey, man, we got to get that brother a pass. That's what you said. That's all. I'm okay with that. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna give T.O. a pass, then give everybody else a pass. Stop with the bullshit. Keep it boxing, man. It's like you out of order.
We'll keep it boxing because T.O. said this.
Man, takeover, but it's Spell World of Brooklyn. Major love and shout out to Danny Garcia. Let's get it, check.
See, the same way you've been race baiting, talking crazy. Now you hugging up with the brother. We see it right here. He hugging up with the same individual that called you.
What a mess.
He did all of that, but you hugged up with the man. So don't do it, man. Don't do it.
And so let me ask, what's wrong with the blacks?
I don't understand what's wrong with you. But I ask you this. I ask you this because I'm in tears listening to Dub. That's why I love Dub Rightside. That's why I always say Dub Rightside is one of my favorite people on YouTube. And Junior, I'm glad you got a chance to experience this guy because this brother's hardcore. I think the thing that I'm saying is very simple. It's not about race. Because anytime we mention our existence,
I said history, it wasn't about race. I said that.
Listen,
you didn't say that.
Listen. I'm telling you what I'm saying. It's not about race. I'm saying anytime we mention our existence, our heritage, anything, it's considered race baiting. We just seen TD get up here and tell us, oh, Shakur's okay, now he's a Puerto Rican. I seen TD explain us down like this is dude with a third grade education. Tell us like he got a third grade chemistry set at home talking about he know how oxygen works.
Wow.
That's what TD told me.
Yo, but BBO,
he broke it down.
Order, BBO. First of all, you over here trying to talk Spanish and trying to tell me what Puerto Ricans eat and don't eat and all this other stuff.
Who do blacks eat?
You want to tell me when I come in, I do my research and I do interviews with actual fighters in the situation, and you're going to tell me I got a 3rd grade education and
no, I'm going to say 3rd grade chemistry set.
You're going to try to downplay and discredit the information that I gave you.
I'm not discrediting it. I'm telling you how people like to use, people like to protect what they want to protect. It's not a problem. It's not a problem because you're my guy and I love you. All I'm saying is this.
You love
when Alicia Bumgarner came out with the text or whatever, everybody condemned her. I heard nobody trying to say she didn't do it. When Hannah Gabriels came out with the dirty test, nobody tried to defend her. Nobody. They said she was dirty.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. I
don't know what channels you want because I definitely made a video about it because when Alicia popped, nobody really came out and said anything. But as soon as
you did say something, you said something, TD.
Sabrel Matias popped for something that was not illegal, right? Because he was way under the limit. I seen everybody roast the Puerto Rican, right? And when Alicia got put on probation, right? And the WBC said that it was okay, right? And she did nothing wrong, nothing, crickets. But when Matias went through the same process, everybody still crucified that man. So I don't know what channels you watch, but there's a lot of Puerto Rican bashing out here too, and there's a lot of Latino bashing as well, right? But when it comes to me, TD, Tommy D, Thomas from the Bronx, I am neutral and I am straight across the board, consistent, not like everybody else. So you cannot say that about me because when I speak, I don't.
No, I see. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you because I think of you like this, man. Because you told me now we got to remember TD is 2% black, so we got to remember this about TD.
You speak very well and you're black. How did that happen?
That's all I can say to that, man. All I can say that. But let me ask you. We have too much fun. Let me ask you guys something that's very important. Now we got a fighter out there. His name is David Benavidez. He's going up the cruiserweight, and that's why I wanted my man Junior here. I wanted to get some thoughts on it. And he says, "Hey, I'm not going to stay at cruiserweight." Now, when you see him say that, does it kind of surprise you? Then he has his daddy come out and say, "Yeah, we're going to fight a 41-year-old Arturo Beterbiev, or we're going to fight a bad back Bivol before we fight the monster Ja Obertai." What do you guys think about the Mexican Pussycat playing these games at cruiserweight? What do you guys think?
First of all, that's crazy that you're going to call him that. Second, you know that I could try to set up an interview with El Bandera Roja, David Benavidez. So
what'd you call him?
The red flag, El Bandera Roja. All right? So, you know, I could set up another conversation with David Benavidez. So,
my brother, hey, Boston, so please do bring that brother on because I want BVO to call that man the Mexican Pussycat in his face. I want to hear him say it.
I've seen David. He's not a big guy. David ain't a big guy. He's not. He's not a big guy.
Man. Oh, see, here we go. But it's interesting that you bring up Ja Obertai because if I'm not mistaken, Ja Obertai is supposed to be on with Zuffa Boxing on March 8th or whatever March thing is, right? And he's supposed to be fighting Brandon Glanton, and he's supposed to fight for a Zuffa Boxing title. So I wonder how that is going to work itself out because I want to see what the IBF says about that.
I want to ask you real quick, Boxing Source. If can I ask a question? I don't know if I can ask.
Go ahead. I want to hear from TD after that. TD, I want to hear your opinion after that.
Question. Hey, I don't know if I ain't know if BVO would say that you would be out of order.
Yeah, you know, that is.
I want to hear from TD. I want to hear from TD, but go ahead, ask your question. TD, can you answer before Dub asks his question? What do you think about the Mexican Pussycat playing these games?
How they do you? You see how they do you?
No, let Dub go and I'll go.
No. Go ahead, TD. It's okay. I understand.
Because I don't know why.
No. I understand what's going on. So
I don't know why you asked me because I.
No. I understand what's going on, TD. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't really understand what's going on, but I think BVO you wilding for calling him that. You know, I think Benavidez, all he does is ask for the smoke with the top guys, and he doesn't get it. And I think he's been done dirty by the WBC and Suleiman. You know, for years now, right? Because he should have got the Canelo fight. He should have got the Canelo fight years ago. and he got passed over. And Canelo openly said he would not fight that man. And Benavidez was the number one guy for years in that division. And in order for Benavidez to get the good fights, he had to move up in weight. You know what I'm saying? So and I do truly feel like he's going to move up, and I think you'll see him fight Jai Opetaia at some moment in time. So I think you're wrong when you call Benavidez the pussycat.
So,
Why not
in
now?
other words, TD is saying that you're out of order, BVO. You're out of order.
Hey, I don't mean to be out of order. I just like to see the best fight the best, man. That's been my thing, man. I'm not ever trying to be out of order, man. I just like to see the best fight the best. I know that's wrong, but I like to see the best fight the best. And shout out to TD, because when we went to the fights, I seen what happens when you got good fan bases. When Xander Zayas came out, I thought Muhammad Ali was in there, bro. My wife's Dominican. When Xander won, Tommy, my wife, all the Spanish people was in there crying. I said, God, I think this dude's a star.
Yeah.
You had to see it. And I was standing by Shushu's dad, and I said, Shushu, I said, Bruce, ain't Shushu from here? He said, yeah. And you can ask him. Me and him stood right by the ring. The dude like Theo Huxtable, who was doing security, who kept telling me to back up. We seen it. This dude came out the ring, man. You should have heard the scream, Junior. I thought Muhammad Ali was up there.
Boxing Source was there.
So I'm telling you, it's good to have fan bases because it makes fights great. And I'm just saying, it's wrong of me. I know y'all want to protect David. I love him too. But can he fight somebody? Pretty please? Please?
Boxing Source,
please?
add one more thing to this.
Oh, go ahead, Dub. My bad.
And Dub, let me add one more before you guys go.
Shout out to Carl.
BVO is quoted as saying,
you hear Dub?
BVO is quoted as saying, like, he was picking David Morrell. He's saying David Morrell was going to be the next great heavyweight. Like,
is
2
Dub
years
talking
ago.
and I can't hear him?
Then when you can't hear me? No,
I can't. Oh, go ahead. My bad. I couldn't hear you at first. My bad. Go ahead.
And then when David Morrell was going to fight Benavidez, he was like, David Morrell is going to get knocked out. Benavidez is going to beat him up and blah, 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 blah. And now all of a sudden he's doing a 180 again, and then it's all the hate for Benavidez. So you're not consistent, BVO. Go ahead, Doug. Boxing Source, yeah, Doug fell off.
Doug dropped off. See, this is the thing when it comes to BBO, I would hate to be a fighter and have BBO as a fan of me, because the man said he loves you, but then he talked bad about you and called you names, but he said he loves you. What kind of fan are you? He said, I love David Benavidez too, but you calling him a pussycat. You're saying he doesn't fight anybody, even though he fought everybody that Canelo told him to fight in order to get the fight. He beat all of those guys. So I don't know what more you want the man to do. The man is doing everything that we say we want these fighters to do. He's fighting everybody we say we want these guys to do. He said, we want you to fight the top level guys. He's fighting nothing but top level guys. He hasn't fought a low level guy since earlier in his 168-pound career. That's the last time he fought a low level opponent. Since he's been the interim title holder at 168, he hasn't fought a single low level opposition. So now that he's fighting somebody that Jai Opetaia wanted to fight, Jai Opetaia was trying to get that fight. He's fighting him, and you're saying David Benavidez, he's too scared to get in the ring with Jai Opetaia. Jai Opetaia was trying to fight him as well. So he said, let me go ahead and get this fight so I know there's no doubt about it that it's going to be a fight with me and Jai Opetaia, because I got the other two belts. So if he wants to be undisputed, he's going to have to fight me.
I don't know. What would you say, Junior? I mean, I get it. Now, I don't know what happened. It's like now David Benavidez got a whole security team around him. If you say something, they're going to try to silence you, man. It's kind of scary, man. It's like, it reminds me of ICE. Go ahead.
Nah, I don't know what this thing is about a security team. I mean, Benavidez is looking to fight the best guys, regardless of the weight class. So My thing is that I'm just being really intrigued on Jai Opataya choosing to fight under Zuffa Boxing at this particular point of his career, when he could have, had those fights against Gerardo Ramirez or, whoever the
The
other
man said he
world
wanted
title.
$12 million, man. Come on. Come on, man. I like how you just did that, man.
So, I mean,
maybe they should have gave him. Maybe they should have gave him 12 then.
Well,
and that's what you told. That's what you told Boots to do for Virgil. Give him the 7. And you said Boots to give Virgil the 7 to make the fight. So you should tell John Overtime, give him the 12 to make the fight. See how it works, BBO?
I like how you move the goalposts. I mean, my goodness, you must have put it in your back pocket.
No.
And ran
Let's talk about that.
I'm just using your own words against you. I'm just using your own words against you.
I'm kind of curious. What's this thing about Boots that you were talking about, BBO?
You talking about Jerron Ennis?
Yes, I'm talking about Jerron Boots Ennis, because you did have some comments about Mr. Ennis on my show earlier this week. So I wanted to get more information.
Shout out to Boots. I think he beat Karen Luka Doncic. He beat Villa. I think he does a hell of a job at the taxi service. And then he go down there and beat up everybody.
So you're not gonna give him credit for beating Iamana Stanionis?
Who had 18 fights and had been out the ring for 18 months?
Whose fault was that?
No, I'm asking. Did he have 18 fights?
Whose fault was that as far as like his inactivity?
You put your foot in your mouth, right?
I'm asking because I seen Virgil try to fight the nigga twice, but he kept passing on the scale.
Well, who?
You
said Virgil tried to do what?
Virgil kept trying to fight. Standing on his, but he kept passing out.
Is this the same Virgil Ortiz that had episodes of Rhabdo during that same year?
Yeah, because he couldn't make the weight. Virgil big as hell.
Okay, well that's Virgil's fault then.
Oh, okay. We moved the goalposts, I see. And like I
we
said,
ain't moving no goalposts.
And like I said,
what's happening with Virgil Ortiz?
I get it, and shout out to my man Boxer. This Boxer is my guy. I don't want y'all to think when we go back and forth, this ain't my guy. That's my guy. But he got his protection. He got his protection jacket on. His jacket might say security on the back.
Nah,
so, I
this
mean,
ain't about no security now.
Because hold on. I don't need y'all to jump me. Hey, Tom, but they're trying to jump me.
This is not about security. You know, you're dealing with somebody that does like research on this.
Fights. He said Stanionis only had 18 fights. And
that's it.
Like that's a bad thing that he only had 18 fights.
For a 30-year-old man, I think that's not great. But you know what? Okay. I get it. No. You're not gonna get off that. You said it's a bad thing that he had 18 fights. But you give all the credit in the world to Virgil for the guy that only had 12 fights. The dude that beat Bud Crawford and got robbed.
That lost to Bud Crawford.
Whoa. You said that the dude got robbed against Bud Crawford. Is this what we doing tonight?
Did you see? Hold on, Julian. Did you see the fight?
Yes, I did see the fight.
You didn't have a beer in your hand or nothing, did you? Or you actually seen the fight straight up?
I see the fight straight up.
Hey, TD, am I wrong? He was whacking Bud, was he not?
Oh my God.
My Jamal, you remember the time when the dude said, I got a couple guys who can beat the chocolate out of folks. I think Bud came out 2 shades lighter after getting the chocolate beat out of him. If you watch that fight.
I don't know what fight you was watching. He ain't getting no chocolate beat out of him. He got some hands put on him, but
you ain't seen his eye? What was his eye? His eye was all over the place.
Bud won that fight. I don't know what you saw, but Bud won that fight. I understand why you don't like Bud because he talked trash to Tito's father. I understand that, but Bud won that fight.
Well, if you respect somebody talking to a 60-year-old man on some gangster stuff, hey, I respect that.
I do. When a 60-year-old man is talking gangster, I do. So the 50-year-old man is talking gangster, and then you got a 40-year-old man talking gangster back at him. Hey, fair game.
All I seen was that. You didn't see that big ass mouse under Bud's eye. You didn't
No,
see
yes,
that, Junior?
yes, he had a mouse on his eye. I mean, we seen Tio beat up plenty of times. Tio faithfully come out looking like a light
How
skinned
does it?
motherfucker,
What does Tio have
and
to
he
do
still
with the great Bud
no.
Crawford who lost the Madrimal? What does Tio have to do with
No,
that?
I'm about to tell you what he has to do with it. We seen Tio
Wow.
faithfully comes out with looking like a light skinned raccoon, but he still won the fight. Just because you get a knot put under your eye doesn't mean you lost the fight.
And you know what? Shout out to my man Carl all the way from Australia. Y'all give David all this credit. I want TD Sports to step up to this one. Y'all give David Benavidez all this credit because he beat an old ass Vosnik, which was the best fight of his career, an ancient Vosnik. And then you got to remember, y'all beat Britis, who fought Usyk. Britis one of the greatest cruiserweights of all time. He beat him with a broken jaw at that.
How old was British Prescott? Because that seems to be the only guy that seems to be the only guy that you bring up for Jao Overside. Because it's either one or two.
Everybody got a best fight. Everybody got just like Bosnick is David's best fight.
I can bring up multiple fights where David proved the other people wrong. People said he was going to get beat up, and David Morrell fight, he proved them wrong. They said he was going to get outboxed against Caleb Plant. He proved them wrong. They said he was going to get outboxed against Bubu Andrade. He proved them wrong. So it's multiple fights that you can bring up for David Benavidez. You keep bringing up British Prescott, who was a 37, 38-year-old British Prescott, and that's the only guy that you can bring up for Jao Overside.
I'll just say this, man. I think Britis is a hell of a fighter. Usyk said that was one of his toughest fights, and I think Usyk is the champion, he's the heavyweight champion. But I want to say this, man. Shout out to TD Sports, man. I want to give his brother his love. He's doing his thing. Like my man Brian Norman said, keep doing your thing, man. I'm proud of my man TD Sports. He do a good job. I wish he would cover black fighters a little bit more, but shout out to my man TD Sports.
I appreciate that, BVO, but I cover everybody, right? I mean, Keyshawn Davis is one of my favorite fighters, and the last I checked, he's black. So I don't know why would you say something like that? But I want to make. I'm talking
about like Abdullah Mason. I'm talking about guys like Tiger Johnson, monsters that don't get a lot of love. Not just you. I want my man.
I've seen Tiger Johnson in 4 fights. I've seen Abdullah Mason fight in 3 fights. I've met both of them in person. So I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I covered them. I want to make a special announcement. I know you're not going to like this because he's Puerto Rican, but my man Ofacio Falcone has a fight April 10th in the Prudential Center, New Jersey. He'll be fighting for his first title. It's an NBA title, but still a title. So shout out to my man Ofacio, the Sniper Falcon.
Yeah, I gotta download that, Carl. But I'm gonna ask you guys a couple of rapid fire. I'm gonna start with my man TD, and I'm gonna go to my man Junior. So who do you got, TD? Martin Bacoli, AJ.
Martin Bacoli versus AJ.
Who you got?
If that fight is next, I like AJ. I like AJ. I like AJ coming in focused. He's taking a lot of time off. He has some personal things happen. His 2 best friends, unfortunately, passed away. And I think AJ's gonna, if he, his next fight, I think he's gonna take it, very seriously. I think it's gonna be a little bit personal to him. And I think you're gonna see, one of the best AJs you could possibly see in his next fight. And if it's against Bacoli, then I got AJ.
No, I'm doing like a rapid fire. We do this rapid fire. Shout out to Free Kim with this rapid fire game. I love. So you said AJ. So who you got? AJ, Moser, 2-man. Who you got?
Right now?
Yep.
Oh, I got AJ right now. I don't think Moses is quite ready yet.
AJ versus Caballero.
I got Caballero.
Caballero versus Michael Hunter.
Caballero.
Caballero versus Lawrence Okoli.
Caballero.
Caballero versus Usyk.
I'm picking the upset, and I got Caballero.
Okay. So you got Caballero as the best fighter. Are you ready, Junior? You know, now you kind of see how it goes. We're doing like rapid fire.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got Devin Haney versus Lewis Crawford.
Devin
Haney versus Mario Barrios.
Devin
Haney versus Keyshawn Davis.
Oh, damn. Right now, damn.
Okay. Devin Haney versus Xander Zayas.
Right now, Zayas.
Okay. So I'm taking it, if we talking about two of the best fighters in the world, we're looking at Caballero and Usyk. And before we get out of here, is anything you want to tell us, TD, before we got any more announcements?
No, I just want to say shout out to you for having me and, doing the show. Definitely, guys in the building, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel. If you want, come be a member of my channel, man. This is Sports Talk Network. I appreciate everybody comes up, man. We have great boxing talk, and we have fun up here. I mean, I know BVO, says some things some people may not like, but you got to understand, man, it's all in fun, and it's great conversations. I just want to continue the great conversations, none of the fighting and none of the stupid debates. There's good boxing talk and good sports talk in general. So shout out to everybody and shout out to you, BVO.
What you got for us, Jane? Where can they find you?
Just look up the Boxing Source on YouTube, social media. You'll be able to see interviews on there. I'm on these shows here supporting, support for BVO, support for TD. I'm there with him and Rich, with their show sometimes. So you can see me on their show sometimes too. So just follow us and make sure y'all hit the like button here to support BVO.
Hey, just remember, when you see me, you're going to see TD, you're going to see my man D-Free, you're going to see my man Right Side, you're going to see my man Prize, Marky, B3. We all together, man. We one team. We trying to go together, man. And I always say this, man, before we get out of here.
Nigga, keep God in your life. Fuck, nigga, keep God in your life.
Make sure you keep God in your life, man.
What you know about that song, man?
And we out here, y'all. Peace.
I'm a big Ohio nigga. A lot of niggas know me in Ohio and they love me in Ohio, man.
The deal is the champ, Shannon Ken and Briggs, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. I want to give a shout out to BVO TV.
Shout out to BVO Boxing. You understand? Check the boy out. Check the kid out. You understand?
Ladies